Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine, and this is your daily show. I'm your host Khalid Moedin. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Now, today, a very different show that I'm going to bring to you guys. I'm going to talk to you about various different things, but specifically one, and that is while I'm watching the CSA T20 Challenge, I've noticed that there's a common trend in the top performers in this tournament, particularly with the bat. Now, I know before this tournament, when the squads were announced, there was a lot of talk about this player is not a T20 player and that player is not a T20 player, and this player shouldn't have been selected and that player shouldn't have been selected. There was a large debate amongst everybody about this. And so today I'm going to be talking about that topic. So, without further ado, before we get going, to all the guys that have joined the show, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. So let's get going into the topic. I'm going to be turning on the super chat right now for you guys to contribute if you want your comments to be heard. So let's talk about it. This day 4 of the CSA T20 Challenge. We've had 3 unbeaten teams. We've had quite a competitive tournament so far between certain teams. I think it's going to go to the wire with those last 4 to find those last 4. So we've had Dolphins, the only team that has played 3 matches and 1 all. Then we've got the Lions close on their heels, having won 2 out of 2. Then we've got the Titans that have played 3, but they lost to the Lions today. Then we've got the Knights that picked up their first victory. And then the only 2 teams to have not picked up the win quite yet is the Cobras, 3 out of 3 games, 3 losses, and then the Warriors, 2 games and 2 losses. But like I said, there's a common trend throughout this particular team. So what came out was this particular stats. Now, today, Zubair Hamza top scored in the tournament with 77. You see Pat van Biljon there second with a 72 not out of 54 balls. Zubair Hamza 77 came off 49 balls. We've got Rassie van der Dussen 64 of 41 balls. Got Kaya Zondo 59 of 39 balls. Then you've got KD 58 or 56. That's KP Peterson. Right? That's KP. Then we've got Heinrich Klaassen 54 or 40 balls. Then Sarel Eerwe with 52 of 37 balls. Then you got Siniteme Kashile for the 47, Makanya with the 47, Calverena with the 45, Jonker with the 41, all the usual suspects. Then Christian Jonker with the 41 not out, and then a Temba Bavuma with a 40, then a Reinhard van Tonder with 39 not out, Michael Pretorius with that excellent 38 not out against the Dolphins, and then we've got Dean Elgar also on the list. So a common trend over here is guys like Zubair Hamza, guys like Sarel Eerwe, guys like KP Peterson, who have before been very much pigeonholed into being long format cricketers only, have now got an opportunity to score runs and showcase their talent in the T20 arena. And I think guys like Zubair Hamza who have not been picked up in the MSL previously, and we've had an interview before where he spoke about it and said that he was quite hard done by because he felt that he should have been selected. And that's something that we would like to see, of course. We want to see guys get opportunities. I don't think we need to pigeonhole people. I think all players in South Africa generally have played all formats. I think it's actually in the longer format that we lack at the youth level. A lot of schoolboys don't play that particular format majority of the time. They normally play a lot of the T20 format and 50 over format. So in actual fact, where the pigeonholing has started, or where that classification that you can only play one format, it baffles me. I think all guys need to get an opportunity. And luckily with the new restructure, I think that's going to happen. We're going to see a lot more players play the T20 format and show what they can do. As you saw by that list, guys like Sarel, Eerwe and KP, who have only been noticed for the longer format for South Africa, have really turned it on this particular tournament. A lot of people were surprised when they saw KP getting picked and a guy like Marcus Ackerman not getting picked for the Dolphins. It was a shock to many. KP has now shown that he is capable of playing in any tournament. So that's an amazing thing for us to see as South African cricket. It maybe will open up the doors if we see in the MSL now that there will probably be 8 teams in the MSL. A lot more players will get selected and we can see what they are capable of. In fact, the guys that we thought will perform in this T20 format have not performed in this T20 format. Unfortunately, that has been the case. And the guys that are longer format cricketers have stepped up. Now, there's a lot of reasons for this. You can say that because Durban is a slower wicket and majority of the different strips. Now, they played on different strips. Obviously, today's strip looked a lot more lively. It looked like there was a lot more in it for the seamers, and it looked like there was a lot more in it for the batsmen to get some runs. And you could see that, for example, the way Zubair Hamza batted, some excellent strokes that he played. We saw how Calvarena batted on the strip, excellent strokes he played too. It looked like there was a lot more in it in the batsmen on these particular strips compared to the other strips. Now, Durban's normally known for more of a spinning track, and in this particular case, that wasn't so. But maybe that is the reason why our more test-orientated batsmen are the ones that are obviously topping the charts, because they know how to take their time at the crease. They know how to obviously anchor innings. They know how to hold it. But what I've seen here is not just that. I haven't seen necessarily guys that are only anchoring innings here from a test perspective. As you can see, the strike rates, 157 from Zubair Hamza, compared to Pat van Biljon, who is considered more to be of a T20 ilk type of player, because obviously we've seen him being picked in the T20 squad for South Africa. And Zubair Hamza obviously scoring at a much higher strike rate than a guy like Pat van Biljon, who he did against the Dolphins. Now, that might also be because of the different pitches that they played on. But as you can see over here, those guys are actually scoring at a higher strike rate. We've got a guy like Shahriar Irvia who scored at a strike rate of 140. We've got KP. He's the only one that really played like an anchor role for his side. So it's good to see that some of these guys that have been pigeonholed into this bracket are performing, and they're showing that they can play in all formats and not just in the longer format cricket. So let's get into the comment section. Let me see what you guys have to say about all the rubbish we're speaking right now. Look at Verna. I was going to mention this. Pujara getting back into the IPL. Hamza, Peterson, and Van Tonder deserve a real shot in T20s, and it's correct, because we saw how Reiner Van Tonder also did today. He played quite well, and I thought that if there was no score pressure for him to go and play attacking shots and up the run rate, I think he would have gotten a decent score on this track today. Unfortunately, there was some pressure on the Knights to perform and to chase down the total. Cobra's heartbreaking defeat. I mean, Michael Pretoria is excellent at the end over there to get that win. A lot of talking. Let me take a sip of my tea. Okay, let's go on. I'm finally taking a leaf from my book and wearing that hat here in the show. Yes, I just decided to switch it up a bit. Guys, you know how long I've been looking for this particular hat. Now, I'm a big fan of TI, and for a long time, he's been wearing this ATL cap, and especially the black one with the white A. And I've been looking for it in South Africa for years. It must be close to 9 years. And a friend of mine actually went over to Dubai, and he did a trip overseas, and he found it and he bought it for me. So I have to shout out to my friend Junaid Hussain for doing that for me, because he got me this cap, and I've been so happy with it, because I've been looking for it so long. All I wanted was one of these caps. You could have shipped one down there from America for me, man, because I love this particular cap, especially Atlanta George's cap. I don't necessarily support the baseball team, but I like the cap. So now you know about what you can get for me for my next birthday as a present. Yes, but Van Tonder needed to improve his strike rate compared to Hamza and Keegan. That is very true. Hamza played well, and Verreynne had a great knock. Yes, I'm loving the confidence from Verreynne, even though they pushed him up to number 3. Unfamiliar territory, you could say, for him in the T20 format. I mean, even for the Paul Rocks, he batted lower down the order, and for the Proteas as well, lower down. But that boy can bat. He has an amazing eye for an ability to find the gaps. And people talk about him being small in stature, but his timing is so amazing that he can find the gaps and find the ropes and find the boundary. So he's not actually a small hitter as many people think. He can find the boundary where he needs to. But what I love the most about Calvarena is the ability to be able to come into pressure situations and calm the situations down and find those quick singles as well. He's very good between the wickets. I know he got run out in his second game that they played. But I mean, generally speaking, he's very good between the wickets. So when he has a good runner on the other end, Cal's a perfect person to come in. I would like to see someone like Kyle and David Miller run between the wickets. It would be epic to be able to see that. Rapper Khalid. Khalid, the sound and your voice are out of sync. Yes, that might just be your connection. Everything seems to be fine on my side with regards to that. It just might be your connection on your side, Abai. I don't know what's going on. Who are the Proteas scheduled to play in the home summer 2021-2022? I'm not 100% sure if those things have been confirmed yet. I can only speak about right now during our winter going on. I'm talking about now, we're playing Ireland, of course, and then we play India before the World Cup. So that's the only things that I can confirm. I can't confirm who's going to be the next fixtures yet, because, I mean, we've been struggling to actually get fixtures for this season alone. So it's quite tricky for me to confirm all of that. But I know we're going to be playing Ireland in June, July, I think it is, in limited overs. And then we're trying to obviously get West Indies, a test series against West Indies. I know we're playing India before the World Cup in the limited overs as well. So we hope that will be better. How did some people say that remove Ashwell Prince from the Cobras? You know, I know that particular message is going around, and I think that it's a bit unfair on Ashwell. I know that he hasn't won any trophies quite yet, but I feel he got close on in his first season. He got very close to winning that 4-day competition. I mean, they lost it on the last day in the final overs of a game. The Lions actually ended up winning their game, like thanks to epic batting from Bjorn Fortuin and Delano Potgieter. 170 odd from the one and 180, I think, from another. It was epic batting from them. So they were very hard done by to lose that game, and I think that took a lot out of them. But then also they lost all the experienced players and they had to rebuild from scratch. And I think that takes a lot out of you when you're trying to build new leaders and you're trying to look to the future. There's not a lot of seniority in that side. I mean, you have a guy, Tony DeZorzi, who has barely been at the Cobras, captaining a T20 side right now. So there's a lot of inexperience in that side. And I think Ashwell just needs a little bit more time with this bunch of players to really rebuild. I mean, I really honestly think that Ashwell has what it takes to be able to take this team to where it needs to be. They're getting that building block slowly but surely. I know they're losing this particular series. They lost all their games this season almost. And there's a lot of, how can I say, deterrences in the side. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the side. All their top players leaving for the Proteas and losing their core group of players, and then they have to go look around and try to find next guys in line to play. They didn't have the window that they wanted with regards to the transfer season. I'm sure a lot of the targets slipped away, and they didn't get to actually sign everybody that they wanted to sign as well. So I think it's a little bit unfair to just say that Ashwell Prince should be kicked out. I think Ashwell Prince has the right mentality for the youngsters. There's so many youngsters in this country that have told me they would love to play with Ashwell Prince. So this shows what type of coach he is. And I think he's the right person for that gap to take players from this level to the next level, to the Proteas level, because he knows that he understands the hustle and what it takes and what the drive and the hard work rate that you need to turn yourself into a Protea, because he's lived it. He went through a tough time in his career to be able to become the test player that he became. I mean, his average of over 40 is not by coincidence, it's by hard work. And he batted and he performed under the most difficult circumstances. And I think that he can really help the next generation take it forward. And with the Western Province system at the moment, remember that for a long time, Western Province haven't been competing and performing really well in the under 19 level. So Western Province had to go look elsewhere for their talent. This last couple of seasons, since Gershman Rabi took over, with the help of Graham October, they've really transformed the Western Province youth system and academy to a point that they're producing champion players. And with regards to the Western Province schools, the top schools in Western Province and the Western Cape, they're producing top quality, high quality players with the right mentality. So if he can work with these players coming through the system and bring them into the Cobras lineup, he'll be dealing with a whole different ball game with regards to Proteas players and the caliber of Proteas players, because they're even producing top quality Black African and colored players as well. That's very important. So I believe that Ashwell Prince has it in him. And I think that the Cobras should actually just stick it out one more year with him and see where he goes from there, if he can build a foundation. Because if you look at the Cobras' lineup and the Cobras' side compared to other lineups, you can see that the lack of experience in the Cobra side compared to the the experience that are in other sides. You want and especially the only experience that they have is Calvert, George Linder, Zubair Hamza, and maybe Jason Smith you can throw in there as well as experience that have played for, but they're not experienced by age, they're experienced by the amount of games they played. And they haven't even played that many games with the Cobras. You can call them three seasons or so, 3.5, 4 seasons all combined. So we're hoping that these guys can take the Cobras forward and become the next Vernon Philanders and the next Dane Pitts and etc. and Rory Kleinfelds, and they can take the youngsters, this new generation of champions that came through the Cubs week, help them grow themselves into champion players, because we have the talent in this country. And I think that Ashwell is probably the best person to work with the youth. Other than Shukri Conrad and those guys that are playing for East Under 19, that he's already has the East Under 19 job, I think Ashwell Prince is the next best person to work with our youth in this country. So I don't think that sacking him right now just because of the results and because of what has happened. They need to look in the future that he's rebuilding something here, that he's building a platform for a better future for Western Province and the Cobras. So that is my view on it, but I mean, that is only my opinion and my observation of the situation. Keegan Peterson and Zubair Hamza disproved the Pigeonhole theory and good effect, and that's 100% true. We've seen Dean Alger do it in the MSL as well. Yes, we have. Although I feel that sometimes there is a place for players like Dean Alger, players like Tempa Bavuma, players like Riza Hendricks, who kind of anchor those innings. There's a place for that in T20 cricket. Pujara being picked up in the IPL is a indication of that. But these players that are being pigeonholed have really performed differently in this tournament. And we have to say that someone like Zubair Hamza really has led the way with that. By the performance he put on today. It's unfortunate that the Cobras couldn't put that over the line, because he really played excellently today. To be fair, Evia is a very good T20 player. Yes, they're good batsmen. They should be able to play in the T20 format. They just have to find what's the way that suits them. And particularly batting in the power play for them, because they're very good stroke players. They should be able to find the gaps. KP has a strike rate of around 103 in T20 cricket, but more importantly, knows how to take on more a responsible role. And that's very important in this format as well. It could be a blessing in disguise, though. It's very refreshing to see several spinners perform, especially when there's ongoing discussion about how good the spinners are in domestic cricket and how well SA batsmen play spin. I think Durban has a large influence on that. You could see on today's pitch, there was a lot of rough, but then there were patches of green. You could see, generally speaking, around you could say the fourth stump region in a good length, where a lot of the seamers were trying to pitch it on there. But if you pitched it just next to it, it would move around and spin around. So there's a lot of those patches on some of the pitches. They obviously don't use the same strip throughout the whole tournament. They're not going to be using the same strip, but we're getting a lot of purchase on the wicket for the spinners, and it's good, because I feel that a lot of the youngsters in this tournament are going to learn from this experience, because they're getting proper, almost subcontinent conditions over here in Durban. So it's excellent to be able to see that, and spinners obviously playing a massive role, even the part-time spinners. Although I have to take my hats off to a guy like Mahima, who's bowling excellently for the Cobras, even though it's in losing causes, but he's bowling excellently for the Cobras. We've seen how Bjorn Fontaine's performed over here in this particular tournament. Once again, he's excellent. Simon Harmer, he showed his little bit of skill in the game that he played, but also the main guy that we like so much. So many guys like him on this channel as well. So there's so many other guys that are also going to be performing on a consistent basis. I just want to go pick up the records quickly so that I can have a look at everybody that has performed from a bowling perspective, because I mean, Michael Pretorius has been showing some excellent pace. You know what really stood out to me was one of the post-match press conference. I think it was the post-match analysis from Lizard Williams after he performed, where he spoke about the wickets, and he actually said, and I completely underestimated this, because I didn't expect him to say what he said. So there was Pami Mbangwa was talking to him about the wickets and how it is to bowl. I think it was before yesterday's. No, wait, I'm not 100% sure. Let me not put everything on that. But Pami Mbangwa spoke to him, and he spoke about the wickets, and he said that he likes to bowl in this Durban on this Durban wickets because there's actually a lot of movement in it for the seam. It's a lot more difficult to bowl in this in Centurion, and because of there's a lot more in it for the batsman over there. It's easier to hit them. Whereas here they get a little bit movement, and so he's really enjoying bowling in Durban conditions. So it's also good to see our seam bowlers actually perform in these type of conditions. And like I spoke about that green patch today, there was a lot of movement on that. If you just pitched it on there, so I've got the tally over here in front of me. We've obviously our spinners are taking the majority of the wickets. With Siabonga Mahima, obviously from the Cobras, 7 wickets for 83 runs. He's bowled excellently in this tournament. He's one of the stars of this tournament, one of the standout players in this tournament. I think he's been excellent. Keshav Maharaj, of course, showing his caliber once again. But then we've got the likes of Lungi Ngiri, Lazard Williams, bowling excellently as well, showcasing how they can move the ball around. I love to see that. Mr. Sander Magala bowling excellently. Michael Pretorius finding excellent pace and swing movement. I think Alan Donald has completely transformed Michael Pretorius' game. He's a whole different type of player. We need a good high-scoring game sometime soon. Team batting first and scoring 190, 200. I doubt we're going to see that initially. I think maybe when we move towards the semi-finals and the finals, we might be able to see that. Maybe the pitches will get a little dry. It depends what weather we're going to get in Durban, because obviously it was raining today, and we know it rains a lot in Durban. If it's going to rain a lot and there's going to be a lot of moisture around, it's most likely we're not going to see those type of scores. Yes, I like Evia, Pretorius, Magala, Verreina, Bosch deserving 10 to score against Pakistan. The batsmen are struggling against the better spinners. Even strike rotation seems to be a problem, but it's good knowledge for them. It's good experience for them. We need to play more in Durban. Seriously, we need to play more matches in Durban, more tournaments. I think what COVID taught us, having a tournament in one venue could be a good way to go forward for certain tournaments, because it's actually a level playing ground for everybody. Has to play in the same conditions. Everybody has to prepare for the same situations, and they have to perform. So it could be an amazing way to go forward for certain tournaments. And I'm talking about now practice tournaments. We could maybe have more opportunities. And I think CSA should put this in place, where we get to see under 19s take on the more senior guys and play teams in a venue. They can have a tournament where all the under 19 teams take on all the provincial teams, and they have like a clash of the best in this country, and they have like a tournament in the off season, something like that in Durban. Maybe they can try to do it in our winter. Maybe try their best to do it. I know if it's raining and stuff, obviously it's not going to be it's not going to work. But I mean, if they can find a way to do that, and maybe run a tournament in our winter sometime, it could help. It could be we could have some cricket and have a competitive games, or just in our off season between the two seasons, and when it is a little bit more sunny and it's not direct winter, just before winter. So we'll see. But I think that we need to play more in Durban and test our players against spinners. That's something that we have to do. Because there's only really one team that plays in that plays in those type of conditions. So only when the teams play the Dolphins are they going to learn how to play against spin, which is unfortunate. Zubair started off a bit slow and then began to open up late in the innings. Yes, I think it was a bit of nerves at the beginning, but he really opened up. But you could see the passion in his celebration when he got that half century. It was amazing to see. I was so happy for him. I think it's India. We're hoping to see India before the World Cup. On the other hand, Van Biljon had to steady the ship when a bunch of early wickets fell down, and he had less time to step on the gas. And it's good to see a guy like Van Biljon also switch his game around and play the more anchoring role, because we know him, or we understood that he was selected for the Proteas to be that finisher in the game, coming in at number 5 and 6 and really take the game away from someone, or to really put this step on the gas, as you said over there. Khalid Van Biljon was slower because he had to anchor the innings with everybody falling around him. But great to see Hamza. Yes, I assume that was the case, of course. I was just saying that I was just trying to compare it, that we can see that some of our T20 players that we normally talk about being the T20 high-firing cricketers, they can also turn and switch their game according to the situation, which is also nice to see. It works both ways. I was trying to say that, or maybe I didn't say it in the right way, but that was what I was trying to get across, is that we're seeing a reverse around here from some of the players, which is good to see that these players are adapting to different conditions. They're learning so much from that. When it comes to NBA, I just follow LeBron James, to be honest. I'm a big LeBron fan, so I just follow him wherever he goes. I'm not so invested into American sports to be able to say that's my team. Do you understand what I mean? So I follow certain players and I like watching them play. Like I enjoy obviously watching. I'm not going to even say that because people want to say I'm a Glory supporter. Get Michael Pretorius in the Pro Tour squad at all costs. Yes, I think he should be in the next squads. He's excellent. Bat and ball. I mean, a lot of people wanted to sleep on his batting ability, and I was talking about it, and I said it's quite equal. I don't think that he's a bowling all-rounder. I think he's an all-rounder. I think he's equal with bat and ball. But since he's worked with Aaron Donald, his bowling has improved remarkably. I think Alan really had an influence on his career. Khalid VP, you're like I love it. By the next stream, I want to hear you say that in an American accent. Time for younger players to get the Proteas national side. Impressed with Van Tonde, Corbin Bosch, Michael Pretorius, and Hamza. Cobra's game today was really heartbreaking. It really was. Me being a Cobra supporter as well, even though I am trying to be as neutral as possible, Cobras is still in my heart because I come from Cape Town. What do you think, Lungi Ngidi? Does he look like a world-class bowler to you, like Rabada and Ngidi? Huh? I don't understand that question. Will this current Proteas team beat India at home in tests later this year? I'm not sure if we're going to be playing tests later this year against India, to be honest. I think it's only going to be a limited overs series before the World Cup, but other people can confirm. They haven't confirmed those fixtures 100% yet. So when it is confirmed, we will obviously go live. Favorite Eminem album? What about Recovery? No. Favorite Eminem album for me has to be The Eminem Show. Now, a lot of people might not agree with me. I just think it's a good, well-balanced album. You can't go against Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP. They were brilliant as well. I'm not such a major fan of Eminem's later albums. I think Kamikaze was really good though. But I'm not such a major fan of his later albums, to be honest. I think he's trying too hard to show that he's the best in the world, where he doesn't need to prove anything. He's the best. He is the best rapper around. So I don't think that he needs to show everybody that that's what he can do. Recovery was a good album. I enjoyed it. It's not my top. Encore is the album that actually got me heavily into Eminem. It's the first, not necessarily that got me into Eminem, but it's the first ever album that I owned from Eminem. Is the Encore album, because obviously I was young when it came out. I think I was only in grade 7 or something like that when that album came out. Mahima's not a part-timer. I never said that Mahima's a part-timer. I said that Mahima's been brilliant, and I said I also like what I'm seeing from our part-time spinners as well. I'm not saying Mahima's a part-timer. He's nowhere near a part-timer. He's bloody brilliant, that boy. I'm loving what I'm seeing from him. Did you watch the PSL? I didn't watch the PSL today. I'm sorry. You can update us in the comment section about that. Why is it going to make artificial spinning pitches like Australia did in coastal region, especially in Durban? But that's what I've been saying, We've been saying that on so many streams, Kostab. Am I pronouncing your name properly? Because we've been saying that on a lot of streams. I think me and you had a conversation in one of the other streams about maybe turning PE or Durban into those coastal wickets so that we can have more practice there. Because if we have two venues where players go that are struggling, I mean, in East London, we've had some great spinners in the past that have been performing well. So we want to see more of that. Simon Harmer was there. We had John Smuts over there, of course, and we got Jay de Klerk coming through the system. And the youngsters, there are also some good spinners coming through there too. So it's great to see. Scan Proteas team have beaten Australia at home in the test in the series. Would have happened. In Centurion, I think they could have, because I think our team was more conditioned to be able to play in Centurion and Wanderers conditions than they were to play in, for example, subcontinent conditions. I think this team's a lot more comfortable against pace, as we can see. You can see a lot of South Africans are much better against pace bowlers. So I don't think that they would pose a threat when it comes to this pace against us. I think we would be able to compete against them. This team would have been able to compete against Australia. Mahima, as a cricketer, body fitness is not good. Look here, about the body fitness and all of that, every single player goes through fitness training, CSA fitness plans and tests and evaluations before they get picked. So everybody that is in those teams deserve to be there because they passed the fitness test. So I don't think body shaming should happen over here, and that we should take that into account only. That has nothing to do. There's one thing being unfit, and there's another. It's a different thing having a little bit of extra weight on you. You can still be fit and have a little extra weight on you. You can see how many heavyweight boxers and heavyweight fighters perform at a high level, and they're not 100% ripped up. So every single player that is in this particular tournament deserves to be there because they've passed fitness tests to get there. So I just want to clear that up for everybody as well. I see India's this year's international schedule, and I saw India will tour to SA. It hasn't been 100% confirmed yet. I have checked and asked our officials that are here. It just hasn't been 100% confirmed yet. We will confirm it with you guys once it's been 100% confirmed. There are talks happening, yes. So everything that you see are talks about it happening, and both parties are happy. They need to actually organize everything. And once everything is confirmed, I will obviously do a live stream to confirm everything with you guys. Don't worry. That's what we are here for. So thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for all the comments that you guys gave us. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to this channel. Click that notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to obviously smash that like button. We need you to smash this like button so we can be seen in other feeds and more people can find us on YouTube, and then they can subscribe because we want this community to grow. And also to help this community grow, don't forget to go to our Patreon account. You can become part of this family easily by just going to the link on the screen or in the description. Smash that description, the link in the description, and become a patron today. You'll be able to get instant access to our Discord server where you'll have direct communication with me. We'll also be producing exclusive content just for our patrons, but we can only start doing that once our patrons has grown more than it currently is. So please go ahead to our Patreon account and sign up over there too, and tell your friends and families to do so too. If you guys have a small business or big business, you're looking to make sales online, even if your business is offline, please contact us on cricketfanaticsmag@gmail.com, or you can go ahead to the free tutorial on this channel and the link in the description. You will find a link over there that you can tune in and you can press, and then you can find out more about this from us. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and I hope you guys will see me again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care.